I mean, I guess you could call it surprising for some. I mean, I guess Saturday. I had to talk to my boy, one of my best YouTube buddies, Crossover. If y'all don't know him, you definitely need to go get to know him. He's just a few short of getting that 1,000 marker. So make sure y'all go and subscribe to him. But bro, how you feeling, man?
To be fair, man, like the fight went very differently than how I was expecting it to go. Obviously, I wanted Alex to win the fight, but I was expecting him to not be able to defend all the takedowns. So him keeping the fight on the feet, I think, surprised a lot of people. But I got to give respect to Ankalaev, man. Like he had a very good game plan, came out and got the job done.
So going into that, like I've seen, I watch your stuff, and you on the Fight Week show and the prediction show, and I mean, I've known you for a while. I know how you feel about Alex, but you're realistic when it comes to these types of things. So you saw the pitfalls that he could fall into, like you just mentioned. How did you actually score the fight?
So watching it live, I gave 1, 3, and 5 to Alex, but after the fight, I felt as though Ankalaev won the fight. And then having gone back and rewatched it, Ankalaev definitely won 2, 3, and 4, in my opinion. In the moment, you're watching it, your emotions all are involved, all of that. But when I was scoring it, because I feel like it's very hard to score the rounds in the moment. So I definitely understand the judges have a very tough job. But having looked back at it, I definitely feel as though Ankalaev won the fight for sure.
Yeah. And I've heard Ariel Hawani, he scored a 135 for Alex. Kevin Ioli scored a 135 for Alex. And in the moment, same thing as you, like, in my, according to my picks, I wanted Alex to win. And honestly, I think there's a misconception amongst some people that thought that, like, I'm an Ankalaev homer. Like, that's not the case at all. I just wanted to make sure that Alex is fighting the best. I don't want things to be looked back on and us to say, oh, well, he had a Floyd Mayweather type of situation where things got cherry picked. He fought the right people at the right time. If he's going to be an all-time great, which I still think that he is, I want him to fight the best, that there is to offer. And he's done that. And he came up short in this one. It's not like he went out there and got dominated or destroyed. So what needed to happen happened, in my estimation. He didn't get taken down, and that's not where he lost the fight. To me, he lost the fight primarily due to inactivity. He wasn't as active as he normally is. If he was as active as he normally is, he probably gets Ankalaev out of there, to be honest.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the inactivity was more so Ankalaev. If you go back and watch the fight, and when you're not in the moment, you're gonna miss a lot of different things. When you go back and rewatch it, you can see Ankalaev was winning the lead hand fighting. He won that, which we all know that's huge in a Southpaw Orthodox matchup.
Yeah.
He also was winning the lead foot battle as well. And if you think about it and go look at it, Ankalaev had all these different feints. He would feint the level changes. He would feint the right hooks over Alex's left hand. And as we all know, Pereira's lead hand is his best weapon. It's the body jabs, the jabs, obviously the left hook, and he just couldn't get it going because Ankalaev just neutralized it with the lead hand fight. And then, like just like I talked about in my preview video, I didn't think that the lead leg kicks would do as much to Ankalaev as the rear leg kicks from Pereira in his other fights when he fights Orthodox guys. And that's literally how it ended up happening. In the first round, you could tell Pereira was getting him with the lead leg kicks. But then towards the end of the round, Ankalaev's like, all right, like I gotta, when he goes there, like I gotta get after him. And then
Yeah.
the second round, you just saw him turn up the pressure and just get onto him and just got in his face. And I mean, it's crazy to think that I think Pereira only landed like 11 strikes to the head the entire fight, which is crazy over 25 minutes.
Yes, especially for him. Like that is wild. And it, like just watching it, the way that he was kind of frozen, that's what you see him do to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost odd to see him in that situation. So a lot of people, and you could hear it in the commentary, they were trying to figure out, okay, did he not train enough? Was he just overwhelmed by fighting so much? And just really kind of going out of their way to not give Ankalaev credit for what he was doing in there. Which, I mean, it's just, Ankalaev's not popular. The UFC clearly doesn't really like him like that. So I guess that's just the narrative that's going to go out there, and he doesn't do himself any favors. I don't know if you saw the Yuri Prohashka.
You know, I saw it.
Yeah, he congratulated him, and instead of being humble and saying thank you, I appreciate it, whatever, like he fired back at that dude like,
Mm-hmm.
you the champ. Like, what are you
Mm-hmm.
doing?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I kind of like Ankalaev being the villain, dog. I like it, and I think it gives him some personality. Because I mean, if
Yeah.
you think about it, most of these guys, everybody's super respectful, super nice to everybody, but it's good to have the villain. And I think him playing that role is actually going to make him more entertaining, which is only going to help out him in the long run. But and then back to your point when you were talking about Pereira kind of freezing up. If we think about, the matchup, the threat of the grappling typically always makes the strikers more hesitant.
Yeah.
And that's literally what happened. Like if Ankalaev and Alex Pereira just do a striking fight, we all think Pereira is going to dominate that, right?
Yeah.
But just because he didn't get any of those takedowns, the threat of it slows down those reactions a fraction, and that's all it takes for guys to land shots, get caught clean, get hurt, get rocked. And I think the threat of the takedown really made Alex hesitant. And then on top of it, when he was throwing the leg kicks, every time he would throw one, Ankalaev would counter him.
Yeah.
Whenever he went to go throw a shot, Ankalaev would counter. And it never allowed Pereira's offense to get any type of rhythm. Like everything felt very frantic and stressed. Like nothing really felt like Alex was ever in control if you look back at it.
Yeah, and you could see it in his face. I've never seen his face look like that,
Mm-hmm.
where he just seemed worried about everything. And it is a testament to the threat of the takedown. Even though Ankalaev he's not the best wrestler, but he'll try.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because Jan Blachowicz, to me, and me and CJ were talking about this when we were watching it. Jan Blachowicz and Ankalaev are a lot more similar than a lot of people think. Even though they come from totally different places, different backgrounds, the way that they fight has a lot of similarities.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be why they canceled each other out the way that they did when they fought. But when Pereira fought Jan Blachowicz, you could see some similar things happen. Even though he came out on top, you could kind of see some cracks. And we didn't have him fight a fighter that was close to that since then. And now that we have, this is where we ended up.
Mm-hmm.
it,
But I'm gonna be honest. Like even having watching the fight, if you think about it, Pereira defended all of the takedowns, and the fight was on the feet, and Ankalaev just was the better guy on the day. I think looking forward at a rematch, I'm willing to bet you Pereira doesn't feel bad. He probably feels better about it now, knowing that he can defend all the takedowns. And as far as like figuring out a game plan on the feet, I don't think that would be an issue for him at all. It's more so just who can implement their game plan now that Ankalaev knows that, all right, it's a little harder to get Alex down than what I thought going into the fight. And now Alex is like, oh, I can defend these takedowns better than maybe he even thought he could going into the fight. And maybe now it'll allow in the rematch, he can be a bit more aggressive and not be so tentative, worried about the takedowns.
Yeah, that's true. So speaking on the rematch, Alex Pereira is 37 years old. And if he would have won, the world would have been his oyster. He would have been able to really start to really direct where he wanted to go, whether he wanted to go to heavyweight, fight for the belt, no matter who had it, or if he wanted to stay and keep defending. But now that he's lost, things are a little bit different. Now, he is a person who got the one and only treatment. So we know he's a star. He doesn't need a belt. He's reached the I don't need a belt status. But putting all of the variables into your mind, like, what do you think he should do?
Honestly, I think what he should do, and knowing that, like the type of character he has, like his backstory, where he comes from, I think he's gonna be ready for the rematch in Abu Dhabi, personally. Of course, Ankalaev's gonna want to fight in Abu Dhabi, and I think Alex will be down for it. Now, if he had won the fight, I think he probably would have threw a wrench in everybody's plans at heavyweight. But that's old news now. But I definitely think we're gonna see the rematch in Abu Dhabi in October.
Yeah, I think that's probably where we're headed. And I know a lot of people may not be super excited about it, but maybe they are. Maybe they are like, okay, we got to do whatever we can to get Ankalaev out of there. But I actually think that I kind of think that that's his only option. I listened to Ariel Helwani, his post fight show, and they were talking about him going up to heavyweight. They said that they thought that he should be sitting cage side at International Fight Week when John Jones fights Tom Aspinall and challenge the winner. And to me, that's a nice little payoff in the short term, but to me, it does a lot of damage to the sport if you allow him to go up there and do that. And it's nothing against Alex. It's just there has to be a meritocracy, at least attempt to have a meritocracy in this sport. You make all these complaints about the way the boxing is, and to turn around and do something like that, to me, would be you're shooting yourself in the foot in the eyes of the purist, like we are. But I mean, if that were the case, say that was the scenario, would you have an issue with that?
I personally wouldn't like it, just because. I'll bring up another situation. Look at the Ilia Topuria situation. Him going up to lightweight,
and this is where I was going.
Yeah, like him being a champion, having the belt, and vacating and going up. I feel like he's much more likely to get an automatic title shot as opposed to someone coming off a loss in a title fight, moving up to get a title fight. I know heavyweight's very shallow, but I don't think the fan base would like that. And personally, I don't think Alex is gonna do that, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think that he will. Like you said, his character, and his competitive spirit, I feel like he wants to go get that one back. Plus the fact we know that he don't like that dude. He does not like him, and he wants to beat him. I think that they're going to run that back. I kind of don't really see a way around it. And plus, honestly, for me, I can think of 3 or 4, just off the top of my head, 3 or 4 heavyweights that beat him. And I don't think that he should be fighting up there trying to move up the ranks, because if Ankalaev can stifle you with his piece of wrestling, just think of what Jailton Almeida will do.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. First off,
You know how I feel. You know how I feel about Jailton Almeida. I do not like Jailton Almeida.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But at the same time, I don't think those two guys will fight in the first place. I think they've trained together actually. Um,
Yeah, I wouldn't be
but
surprised.
yeah, I mean, two Brazilians, especially there's just nothing on the line. Maybe a number one contender fight. I don't think they would do that.
No, I
But
don't think so.
but yeah, but I definitely think Alex is all about the rematch. And I'm curious, do you think the rematch looks any differently?
I struggle to think that it looks different. Um, Now, if we go back to when Alex fought Izzy, he did throw in a couple of takedowns. And I would like to assume that Alex has gotten better since those fights. So maybe he'll be a little bit more offensive with his wrestling um, in those cases to give Ankalaev something to think about. He's a big, strong dude. It's not like, Ankalaev just overpowered him because of his strength. So maybe he throws that in. He's got a great teacher to teach him that. So he could throw those things in to make it interesting so that he could let his hands go more confidently. Alex has a really high fight IQ. And I think that when he's focused on the task at hand, his cardio is extremely underrated. So I think that he can win the fight. Um, but I definitely expect him to be an underdog, like a for real underdog this time. And it'll be an uphill battle, but I think he could get the belt back. Yeah, he'll have all the momentum from the crowd. I can tell you that.
I mean, I actually, just me thinking about it, I'm trying to think, like what are some things he can do differently and what are some different elements he could bring into the rematch. And what comes to my mind, and I think would catch a lot of people off guard, if think about Amanda Nunes in the Juliana Pena rematch. She came out and was southpaw.
Yeah.
Alexa Grasso in the Valentina Shevchenko rematch came out southpaw. Took both of them by surprise, and they had a lot of success.
Hmm.
And I mean, what's the harm in trying something different? Like you
Yeah.
you got to throw a different wrinkle in there. You know what I mean? Like we saw that the lead leg kicks from Orthodox, and I understand it's his strength, and I'm not saying he could primarily fight southpaw, but just possibly throw it out there to see how Ankalaev reacts. Who knows? Maybe he'll have some success with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta have the ability to have a plan B, and it just seemed like there was no plan B in this first fight.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Totally agree. So you mentioned something a moment ago about Ilia Topuria in the lightweight division, and that's really the next place that I was going to go. Was the lightweight division was heavily showcased in the main card. We got Mauricio Hufi. Um, I mean, just destroying Bobby Green, King Green, with the spinning wheel kick. And then we got Ignacio Bahamondes retiring Jalen Turner. And then we got Justin Gaethje repeating what he did before and beating Rafael Fiziev.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that with the three outcomes that we just saw, is the lightweight division in a far better place now than it was before?
I mean, honestly, Ilia Topuria joining the division automatically puts the division in a better position already. Now, where do we go from here? Now, I think it's a very interesting spot. Gaethje gets that win. Max Holloway's in the division now. Arman Sarukian has to fight somebody before he can get another title fight. Poirier's got to get his last fight. Like it's a lot of moving parts up there now. Dan Hooker's gonna be coming back at some point. He's gonna have to fight. He's in the top 5. I mean, really, I was thinking Arman. You could do Arman Ilya number 1 contender fight. The winner gets Islam. I think that makes a lot of sense since Arman isn't going to get right back in there with a title fight, as Dana said. Maybe Max Holloway, Poirier can do a third fight for Poirier's last fight. I know there's been some rumors about that. And Gaethje's kind of in a good spot now, getting that win. Gaethje pretty much lost it all, man, in the UFC 300. It was heartbreaking for real, but
Yeah, that sucked.
mm-hmm,
That
mm-hmm,
really sucked. I mean, and I was going for Max. I'm more of a Max fan than I am a Gaethje fan, but how can you not be a Gaethje fan?
mm-hmm,
And I knew that, and I said it on the live. I said it before. I was like, if Max wins, that boy got options. He got
mm-hmm.
options now, and for all the options that he gained, Gaethje lost all his options,
Yep.
everyone. And this puts him back in a better position. It would have been better if he finished him with that uppercut, but it puts him back in a better position. He's not as fortunate as Dustin Poirier to get the win against a lower ranked opponent and have the good timing.
Mm-hmm.
But he does put himself in a pretty good position, and he's never fought Islam, so he's got that going for him. Even though he's fought somebody like him, it just depends. A lot of it depends on what happens with Islam, but I do like those matchups. And when it comes to Ilia, I personally would prefer him to fight one person before he fights for the belt.
Mm-hmm.
If only to kind of mirror what Alex did, because Alex came up, he fought, a very tough Jan Blachowicz, won a
Mm-hmm.
close fight, and then he was able to fight for a belt, and I'm okay with that. But the last time I saw Ilia Topuria in the lightweight division, he fought somebody unranked and almost didn't make it out of there. Now, I'm not saying that's what will happen, but I need to see you again here just to solidify that this is where you're supposed to be. And then you can fast track right onto that belt.
Who would you like to see him fight?
I would probably prefer Armin Sarukian. I've heard people talk about Charles Oliveira, and I don't want to see that one per se. I think that Charles Oliveira has one more title fight in him, and I kind of don't want to see him get knocked out before he gets a chance.
Man, I completely forgot about bro, the top at lightweight is like something's
Nuts.
got to happen. Something's got to happen.
It's nuts, man. It really is. And I think that at the end of this year, by the end of this year, we'll start to see the lightweight division really start to move forward with these young stars. Like
Mm-hmm.
we got Bahamandez is going to replace Turner in the rankings. We got Hoofy. He won't. I don't know if he's going to be ranked or not, but if he ain't ranked, he's going to be ranked very, very, very soon.
Yeah, his next fight needs to be a ranked guy, and I got a guy for him, BSD, because he's 15.
That's the one, man. That's the one. He called out. That's another thing I was going to ask you too. He called out Dariush, who's ranked number 9.
I like that too.
And my only problem with that is Benny was lined up to fight Moicano, and to no fault of his own, that fight fell through. Is he penalized that much that he has to fight a very, very dangerous up and comer who is outside the rankings? That's a stiff penalty.
Unfortunately, it's the reality. Unfortunately, and maybe it's not Hoofy. Maybe it's Ignacio Bahamondes. He's ranked.
I could get with that. I could get with that one. I could get with that one. Yeah, because he's, like you said, he's ranked. If he has to fight back and fight Bahamondes, then so be it.
Well, he will be ranked tomorrow. He will.
Yeah,
be
he will. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, the lightweight division is in great shape after being very, very stagnant for quite some time, and these older stars are starting to filter out. But I will say that there's a golden age that is coming to a close with some of these stars at the top. And Conor already started the exodus of the golden age of the lightweight division, and Dustin's going to be next. Justin won't be long. Even though he
Hooker
didn't look
won't be
bad.
long.
Hooker won't be long. Oliveira
Oliveira.
won't be
Mm-hmm.
long. Dariush won't be long. Chandler won't be long. Like, there's going to be a lot of new faces in this division for sure. I would say probably about 2026, this lightweight division is going to look very different. Islam probably won't be there either.
Yep.
So yeah. The last thing I was going to ask you is something, again, going back to the Ariel Helwani thing. I don't listen to him all the time, but every time I do, I have issues. And it's not because I don't like him. It's thought provoking, but I disagree a lot. And one of the things that he brought up was he thought that the UFC has a superstar issue, a superstar problem. So just in hearing that, do you think that the UFC has a superstar problem?
After Saturday, absolutely. Because think about it. Just go through the division. Pantoja's at flyweight, not a superstar. Marab at bantamweight, not a superstar. They had one at 145 and Ilia vacated division. So now votes kind of got, they got to dust off some of the, some of those bruises, but not really a superstar there. Lightweight, Islam, superstar for sure. Welterweight, Bilal, not a superstar. Middleweight, DDP, close. If he beat
Superstar-ish.
if he beats Hamzat, he'll be a superstar. But if Hamzat beats him, Hamzat's gonna be a superstar at middleweight. So I think middleweight will be fine. Light heavyweight, don't have a star anymore. I mean, got a superstar, but he's not the champion anymore, and he's 37. Then we go to heavyweight. Tom Aspinall's not a superstar. He's that guy though, but he's not a superstar. And John Jones is a superstar, but 37 years old. So, like the new stars, like who's gonna be that next guy to pick up the torch and be the guy for the UFC? Like Alex Pereira came in, it was lightning in a bottle. Here did all this in 3 years, but like I said, guy's 37 years old. He's gonna be gone very soon. John's gonna be gone very soon.
Yep.
So, we got to see.
Yeah, like, so when he said that we have a superstar problem, I understood where he was going with that. My thing is, I don't think the UFC needs superstars. It's nice. It's nice when they do have them. It makes things a lot easier. But I just don't think that they need superstars. In my estimation, and I made a video about it. Like, we have stars, and I think Alex Pereira is a superstar. But we have very few superstars. Like, Brock Lesnar was a superstar. Ronda Rousey was a superstar. Conor McGregor, obviously the superstar of superstars. But as much as I love John Jones, I think he's a star. I don't think he's a superstar. He's right. He's probably like a hair below, the others. But as it stands right now, I feel like they don't need a superstar because Dana White is a superstar. That's the superstar. That's the guy. As long as he's around, they'll be fine. Once he leaves, he gets tired of it and he's like, I'm just gonna do power slap, I'm gonna do boxing, and I'm gonna let Hunter do this. Then things are gonna get very interesting. Now you're gonna have to start to pivot, and people won't be paying attention to those post-fight press conferences the way that they do. They won't be looking for let's see what Dana says after the power slap. Let's see what Dana says after the contender series. Let's see what Dana says on First Take. Let's see what he says on Sports Center. Let's follow him on Instagram to see what he says, on his little lives when he's released. They're not going to do it because they don't know Hunter like that. They didn't see Hunter slap nobody, so like they're not into. He's just not that guy like that. As long as Dana's around, they'll be fine. They got stars coming up, and all they need is stars. They don't need superstars. Superstars are problems, to be honest. You are very rarely having somebody who is a superstar that is easy to work with. Alex Pereira is one that's very easy to work with. But
Maybe that could be the new trend.
it could be. It could be.
And then on top of it, how much longer you think Dana's gonna do it? He's 55.
I think he's going to do it as long as he can. But he's burned himself. He's burned the candle at both ends.
Mm-hmm. Like,
So,
do you think we get another 10 years of Dana to 65?
at this rate, if he don't drop one of these things, no, he gonna drop.
So let's say he stays where he at. Do we see him till 60?
I think we get another solid 5.
Okay.
I think we get 5. But I mean, he's already said that he started to relinquish some of the things that he does, which is the smart thing to do. But I mean, I just mentioned the stuff that we know about and we see often. He's still got PBR. He's got another skate park venture that he's doing. He's got Howler Head. Like, he's got so many things.
How much sleep do you think Dana White gets a night?
3-4 hours.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. He can't keep this up.
No.
Unfortunately, you know.
Yeah, I think the as long as they continue to cultivate stars, you know, like we see the Fighting Nerds doing what they're doing, like he's going to have to lean into that, pour into that, and cultivate those stars in the different regions. I think they'll be okay. One star that we didn't mention, she's a star. Zhang Wei Li is a star over there.
Yep.
Like, she's big.
Actually, I think she's more well liked in the community than people realize. Like, she has a fun fighting style. Like,
she does.
I enjoy watching Zhang Wei Li fight.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. I enjoy Zhang Wei Li the way that I used to enjoy Valentina Shevchenko. I don't enjoy it anymore. But it is what it is, I guess. Once you get old, start changing your fighting style. And I get it.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Manon might put her out of misery.
Maybe. But then again, though, we haven't seen her grappling, so we don't know what any of that's like for Manon.
That's true. Cool, man. Yeah, I appreciate you jumping on here, bro. I knew it was going to be a little bit of a counseling session. I'm glad you're all right. Glad you didn't hurt yourself.
Bro, I'm always glad, man. Anytime you hit me up to be on, man, I'm always excited. Always look forward to working with you, dog. I love your content, love what you and Lala do. And yeah, just look forward to it. Whenever, you want me to jump on something, just let me know.
For sure. Everybody make sure y'all like and subscribe, not only to me, but to Crossover MMA. Make sure y'all do that. And yeah, we out.